Throughout history, removing a 900-year-old royal dynasty usually requires a violent revolution, a foreign invasion, or a bloody civil war. But on June 2, 1946, a kingdom was removed from the map using nothing but a slip of paper. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're looking at a quiet revolution that happened on this exact day, and how it rewired the geopolitical map of Europe. To understand how this happened, you have to look at what was left of Italy at the end of the Second World War. 2 decades of fascist rule and a grinding campaign between Allied and German forces had reduced major cities to wreckage. The economy was stalled and poverty was widespread. Facing total societal collapse, the Italian people were forced into a binary choice about their future. They could remain under the rule of the House of Savoy, the royal family that had unified Italy 85 years earlier, or take a leap into the dark toward a democratic republic. The monarchy's grip on power began slipping decades earlier. In October 1922, King Victor Emmanuel III bypassed the democratic government and appointed Benito Mussolini as prime minister, hoping to co-opt his militant supporters. That royal endorsement gave Mussolini the legal cover he needed. Over the next 20 years, the fascist regime systematically dismantled Italy's democratic architecture, outlawing opposition parties and suppressing civil liberties, all with the king's consent. The breaking point came in September 1943. After signing an armistice with the Allies, the king fled Rome for the safety of the south. He left the Italian military directionless, abandoning the northern and central parts of the country to a German occupation and a devastating civil war. Knowing his reputation was ruined, Victor Emmanuel tried a final maneuver to save the crown. On May 9, 1946, just weeks before the national vote, he abdicated in favor of his son, Umberto II. But the damage was done. Through these institutional surrenders, the House of Savoy had transformed from a unifying national symbol into an enabler of fascism and national ruin. When Election Day arrived on June 2nd, the turnout was staggering. Nearly 90% of eligible voters stood in massive lines across cities and rural villages, determined to decide the fate of the state. This official instructional poster shows exactly how the vote worked. Voters were handed a ballot featuring 2 distinct symbols, the allegorical head of the Republic on the left and the traditional Savoy coat of arms on the right. But the true demographic shift was who was holding the pen. For the first time in Italian national history, women were allowed to cast ballots. By adding millions of newly enfranchised women electorate, the provisional government expanded the voting base. This influx marginalized the remaining fascist sympathizers, securing a democratic baseline for the future. When the final tally was announced on June 10th, the Republic secured a narrow victory, winning 54% of the vote, compared to the monarchy's 46%. The vote exposed a geographic clash. In the north, industrialized regions like Piedmont and Emilia-Romagna, hardened by Nazi occupation and partisan civil war, voted overwhelmingly for the Republic. Conversely, the agrarian south, rapidly liberated and reliant on conservative Catholic institutions, decisively favored the crown. Faced with defeat, King Umberto II initially refused to step down. He claimed the government had manipulated the results, creating a tense political standoff that threatened to ignite monarchist uprisings in southern cities. Realizing the military and police would likely split and plunge Italy back into bloodshed, Umberto ultimately backed down. On June 13th, he boarded a plane for Portugal, choosing permanent exile and preventing a second civil war. With the king gone, the official declaration of the Republic sparked celebrations in the streets. The fascist era was closed. This shift solved a critical diplomatic crisis. By ending the monarchy, Italy severed its most visible link to the Axis years. This allowed the new government to build a fresh diplomatic relationship with the West, no longer burdened by the dynasty that had enabled Mussolini. This new institutional stability helped Italy integrate into the burgeoning Atlantic Alliance. By 1949, it was accepted as a founding member of NATO, a move that required a government clearly separated from its fascist history. Economically, this democratic realignment paved the way for Italy to join the European coal and steel community, the precursor to the modern European Union. The June 2nd referendum provided the foundation for this stability. It transformed a defeated state into a permanent partner within the modern Western order. Regime change has almost always demanded a horrific toll in human life. Italy managed to navigate the collapse of a dynasty and the birth of a republic using only a single sheet of paper. If you want to understand the historical pivot points that shape our modern world, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more 5-minute geopolitical explainers. We're dedicated to uncovering the histories that explain today's map. Drop a like if you learned something new, share this video with a friend, and we'll see you in the next one.